Hey guys, what's up? Silver here, and welcome to a new series I'm doing, which is actually called Storytime with Silver, where I either tell stories that are funny, interesting, or scary, or any stories that I think you guys will enjoy, and I'll make a commentary out of it and share it with you guys. So yeah, here's the first episode, and this is actually a story from my best friend's 14th birthday. I'm pretty sure it's turned 14, and he invited me and a heap of other friends over to his house for a sleepover for the night and stuff like that. So we all come over and stuff like that, and we got up to some pretty interesting shit, and some of it was pretty funny, and yeah, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. So, when we were, all at, my best friend's 14th birthday party, it was about the afternoon-ish, and, it was in January, so it was summer here in Australia, so we're, all, hot, so we ended up getting into, a water fight, so we're, running around, spraying each other and throwing water bombs and buckets and shit like that. And I don't know how, but it ended out on the streets, and then some stuff got serious. One of us, I can't remember who, but someone come up with the idea, oh, let's get a heap of water bombs, put it in this, it was kind of a circle, a big kind of tub, and we filled it with water, and then put water bombs in the tub. We're like, how about we fill that with a heap of water balloons, and then piff them at people's houses? And I don't know whose idea was it, and then most of us oh no, we could get in trouble, maybe break a window, stuff like that. And then, I don't know who convinced us, but they're like, yeah, alright. And some of us didn't want to get into, big shit for it, so some of us stayed out. And I think, including me, I stayed out of it. But then there was, 4 or 5 people that were like, oh yeah, this is a good idea, mate. So they actually did it, and it was, it did it so close to the house, it weren't even funny. My best friend's house, and it wasn't even funny. They went down the street, they had this big tub, and then they come to this one house that was it was down the street from my best friend's house, and it was only I don't know, 6 houses down, and between that house there was an alleyway going out onto the main street or something like that. So they come to this one house next to this alleyway or whatever, and they threw water balloons, or water bombs you could call it, at the house. And I think I was out in the street watching, and as soon as I think the first one hit, it hit a door or a window, and there was a massive smash. It didn't smash anything, but the noise that come from it was it scared the shit out of us. So once that one was thrown or whatever, I think the boys that threw it bolted down the alleyway or something like that, because I think the person ended up coming outside and there was no one there. And the people who sat out during including me during the thing they were doing, were on the corner of my best friend's house, and we heard it and saw it, and we're shit. So we freaking bolted back into my best friend's backyard. And we're oh shit, we're shit scared, and we're did they freaking smash a window or something like that? And then it was 5 minutes later, and it was the boys hadn't come back yet from doing that, and we're what the hell's going on? So I went out the front, and I was just waiting for them to come back and see what what took them so long. And while I was waiting out in the front, I'm this has been a while, and it has been 8 minutes now, so I'm okay, screw this, I'm gonna go and find him. So I just started walking down the street, across the road, and it's not even a minute after I crossed the road, this police car just come down the street and pulled up right next to me. And I happened to, at the time, because of the water bomb fight in the backyard, have wet shorts and wet top and stuff like that. So they pulled up straight next to me, and there was 2 or 3 people, friends behind me, with me as well. and they pulled up straight like next to me, and they're like, yeah, what do you, this guy like gets out and is like, what are you doing? And we're like nothing and stuff. Like, we're trying to act so casual, even though it weren't us. We're trying to act casual because we know we could get the blame for it because we're so close to where it happened, and you know, we got wet shorts and a wet top, and it could be pointed on us easily because the other boys aren't there. So like, they run away somewhere. And we're like, I can't remember exactly what he said, like the cop said, and what I said, but it was like, we're like, no, it weren't us. And he's like, why are your shorts wet? They're wet, right? And I'm like, yeah, we had a water bomb fight in our backyard. And they're like, oh yeah, so did you know anything about this throwing water bombs at someone's house or something? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like thinking to myself, oh shit. And I'm like, no, we heard the noise and stuff like that when we're in the backyard, and we come out and we're like, what the hell is that? And I think I said something like that. And we're like, I don't know who it was, it's just us boys at, like, the house down there or whatever. And, they ended up getting, my name and a few other, like, the other friends I was with, getting their names too. And, then what happened was, the boys who had, like, actually threw the water balloon, or water bomb, at the house come past the street, and I happened to look that way, and I'm like, oh yeah, it might be them, because I knew the boys would just go across there, go around like the block, and then come back. And we're like, oh yeah, I think they went up there, or something like that. And the cop's like, oh yeah. And then he looked to this other cop that was in the car, and she's like, I think they got back in the car and then turned around, went like that way towards them. And by the time they were already out of the street going the way the boys went, the boys were already down this another alleyway back to the house. And we're like, oh shit, dude, the cops were here, and we're telling them about it. And one kid that was there, I think his name was Jaden, he absolutely shit himself. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like the cops came and stuff like that, and we had to give you a name or something like that. And he's like, oh shit, my mum's gonna find out, and he was like shit scared. It was freaking hilarious, and stuff like that. And it was freaking funny. But that weren't the end of the day/night. This was only in the afternoon, like when we first got there too. It kind of continued on during the night too, which was pretty freaking hilarious. And what happened was, it was like nighttime. I think it was my best friend who come up with this idea, or the kid that was called Jaden. Someone come up with the idea, and he's like, oh, we should go nick-knocking. And if you don't know what nick-knocking, in Australia we call nick-knocking, which is actually, you knock on someone's house, or like their door, and then quickly like freaking sprint down the road, so, you know, they open the door and they're like, no one there, like no one's there, and like, what? And stuff like that. So that's basically what we call nick-knocking in Australia. Other places, I don't know what you call it in America or the UK or something like that, but that's just what we call it here. And someone come up with the idea, let's do that and stuff like that. I was kind of iffy about it because I was like, oh well, the cops like were around this area already. What if they come back? They'll know it's us, definitely. And we're like, shit. Anyway, we ended up all going out, nick-knocking and stuff like that, and it was about almost 10 at night. And we're like, well, we're gonna all get caught in a massive group, so we should split up. So we split up in like 2 groups. I can't remember how many was in each group. It was a few. And we like just went around like houses, like nick-knocking and stuff like that. I didn't think I'd nick-knock one, I'm not sure. But it first went to nick-knocking, then turning into like trying to find each other, because it was getting like towards like 10 to 10:30 at night, and we still hadn't found the other group, and we're meant to like regroup or something somewhere. And then we got to this like really dodgy part of town where you hear a lot of bad stuff, and and we got to this oval that was pretty bad, and we heard there was like these so-called like gangs and stuff like that, like around this area. And then we saw people like on the oval, and we're like, oh shit, who's that? And then we saw like someone lying down. We're like, dude, is that a dead body? Or something like that. Like, we just like jumped to conclusions so quickly, like we're shitting ourselves, because it was like getting really late at night. And you know, it's like that dodgy part of town. Like yeah. It's, if you're there, you would know what they're feeling. But it was pretty much like that. And then when we get close enough, the person on the laying down, which we thought was like a dead body or something like that, jumped up and sprinted away. And you heard the boys like laughing when they were doing it or something. So then we knew there was other boys, and we tried to chase after them because we were meant to like regroup or something. And it was like getting still really late, and we were like running around the streets and we couldn't find them. And then we ended up, we're gonna like turn back home or something. And then they were like behind us, like they turned up behind us or something, and we caught up with them. We're like, oh yeah, dude, sup, and stuff like that. And then we're gonna all like knock as a like house. So we did a couple, not a house. We did it as a group, and we knocked a couple of houses. And so we did a few, and we was like sprinting down the street and stuff. And there's cars coming past, and we're like shitting ourselves because of these cars. And because we didn't know if it was the people from the house or the cops or anything like that. And then I think we got to another part of town. It was like a school. I can't remember what school it was. It was one of the schools near my best friend's house, and we went there, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna knock some more houses before we like get home. And then we're like, yeah, sure. And we ended up going down another street, and then which had someone who was like a druggie or something in that street. And my best friend's like, yeah, this guy's a druggie and stuff like that. And then someone had the best ideas, like, oh yeah, let's knock the druggie's house or something like that. But changed plans. When we got down that street, some kid like was so pissed off at him afterwards. I think some kid had the best idea to grab like a clump of sand that was like it was basically not any sand anymore. It was like rock sand. Like it wasn't a rock, but it was like hard like sand. You know what I mean? And he had the best idea to grab like some of that and throw it at the druggie's like house, and that made a big bang, like bigger than the freaking water balloon on the other house. So we absolutely sprinted our tits off, like back to the school. We're like, shit, nah, you fucked up, kid. Like we sprinted so hard, and we got back to the school, and we went on the playground and just chilled there. Like we're like, oh shit, dude, what just happened? So we got back there to the playground. We were just all sitting there casually, and then I saw this car just slowly coming down the street. And there's like it's kind of like a roundabout around another playground kind of, but it's not part of the school. Like, and it's conjoined with a kind of a street. It was going slowly around that, and we're like on the playground. We're like, shit, dude, get down, get down. And we're like all getting down onto the playground. We're like, shit, dude, are we gonna die? Like I was shitting myself at this point, because it was like, we just threw, like this kid just threw something at a druggie's house. Is that gonna be him to stab us or something? Like, oh my god, so many thoughts going through like my head, and probably the others as well. I'm like, shit, dude. And by this time it was like 11 o'clock at night. So we're like, oh, and we're like hiding on the playground. It's slowly coming around the street, and then it drives off. But the way that car was like driving, it was so slow around that like street kind of slash playground slash roundabout, but it's not, it weren't really a roundabout, it was just like a square street kinda. It's hard to explain, but it went so slow around that, like it was searching, and we're like, shit, dude. And it wasn't the cops either, it was like a legit like non-cop car. Anyway, and like once it passed, we're like, shit, dude, we better get home and stuff like that. So we ended up like going back home, and that was pretty much it for the like knocking and stuff like that. I think we almost could have gotten to big shit for that one, but we got home pretty late. It was maybe like 11:30, pretty damn dark, and I think we just ended up playing video games for the rest of that night. That was pretty much it. So it was pretty interesting knocking slash water bombing 14th birthday party for me. Yeah, it was pretty fun though. I like enjoyed it, I guess. But Oh man, the shit me and my best friend and like some of his friends get up to, it's freaking hilarious. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's the 14th birthday party of my best friend, what happened. And I thought it was pretty funny and probably entertaining for you guys to listen to. And whatever gameplay is in the background, don't know what it's going to be. I hope you enjoyed that as well. But if you wanted me to make more episodes of this story time with Silver, be sure to leave a like or a comment or both. That would be much appreciated. I like it a lot when you like the videos, because it shows me that you actually like the video and you want me to do more. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this funny like story time with Silver, and I'll see you guys soon with another video today. But yeah guys, I'll see you guys soon. My name's Silver and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.